theory behind a vaccine passport is, okay, if you force everyone to have it in order to kind of live in society, then you'll be able to basically just nuke COVID. But we know that that's not the case. You know, very, very high vaccination rates, you still have big waves, so it just doesn't make any sense. And my view is we got to protect people's ability to live their lives. I don't want a biomedical security state in which you're constantly having to do this just to be able to live everyday life. At the end of the day, the vaccines have helped people ward off severe illness, and we obviously work very hard to distribute it. At the end of the day, though, it is it's about your health and whether you want that protection or not. It really doesn't impact me or anyone else, because we've seen the data on this, and so the theory behind it, I think, has gone totally up in smoke. And I also just think that there's been huge mistakes made along the way with some of these authorities lecturing people about this. I can tell you, there's a lot of folks that when they hear that, if they're on the fence, that pushes them in the other direction. That is not the way that you do it. What I try to do is just give the data. I give it honestly. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and I'm not going to tell somebody something that is not true based on the data just because I want them to behave in a certain way. A lot of these folks, they tell these noble lies because they want you to behave in a certain way, and so they don't give the whole truth. I mean, you look at the fact that we're even having to do this with this early treatment, that should not, we're happy to do it because we want to help. But this should have been something that was screamed from the rooftops from HHS and CDC since last December. Can you imagine if 100% of Americans knew that this was something that was available? You know how many people we would have kept out of the hospital? You know how many people that would not have died over the last 9 months? That's just a fact. And we're obviously correcting that in Florida, and we're actually helping other states too because we've put a lot of emphasis on it. But I look at that and I wonder, why, if you have an effective treatment, I mean, this treatment was used on an experimental basis to the President of the United States in October, and very effectively. Why would you not be talking about it? And I think one of the reasons that some didn't think that they should talk about it is because they didn't want people to think, okay, maybe you don't need to get vaccinated, maybe you just get the treatment. And they worried that people would take that message. And my view is we've never said it's either or. We think that they complement each other. But if someone does do that, that's not a reason to not give them the full information. That's not a reason to provide this, for everybody. So, I think some of the stuff with the vaccine passports, I mean, it's an overreach. It's too intrusive. And at the end of the day, my philosophy is, as governor, my job is to protect your individual freedom. My job is not to protect corporate freedom. That is not what I'm here for. I mean, we have a good business climate, we have everything, but this idea that businesses can just do whatever they want and invade your privacy and doing all that, no, I'm not signing up for that. I'm signing up for protecting your freedom and making sure we have a society in Florida where people can make the best decisions for themselves and for their families. And that's what we're doing by protecting against these mandates. And making sure that that's done based on what people believe is best for them and their families, but not something that's imposed.